Superior Local School District is called to order at 5:45 p.m. in the Starbucks Center Conference Room. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Scioli? Here. Mrs. Foley?
Here.
Mr. Leiden?
Here.
Mrs. Pepsi?
Here, please stand for the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Thompson, Superintendent Spotlight.
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, the school year has ended and we're very proud of our spring sport athletes and have made some great accomplishments. And so I'd like Mr. Rockwell to come on up and so we can commend some of our top performers.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Yes, it was a great way to end our school year. Had a very successful 23-24 school year. Spring was no different, and we're here to recognize some of those student athletes here this evening. So at this time, we'll go through our accomplishments on the track, both at the high school and middle school levels. We'll introduce Mrs. Allen here in just a minute. But we'll start with the high school. Second place in pole vault this year was Braden Richards. He was also fifth in the 110 hurdles. And he just had an outstanding season, an outstanding career. He'll go down as one of the best athletes to ever put on a Perry Pirate uniform. And he is not here, unfortunately, this evening. Neither is Coach Richards because he's serving our country at the Air Force Academy. So he is in some basic training. No idea what he's doing right now, but he'd probably rather be here. And recognizing him properly, but we wish him nothing but the best. He was a defending state champ in the 300 hurdles, and everybody in here knows what happened, unfortunately, down at the state meet. Just didn't make it over that last hurdle. And, one of the things I'm so proud of Braden for, not only his accomplishments athletically, how he handled himself after that, because we never want to see our athletes be put in that situation where you're at the sort of the whim of a decision of an official, and we have to live and go with those decisions. And he handled himself in a first-class manner. If you saw his interview, if you saw his quotes in the paper, so not only so proud of him, what he's accomplished for us on the court and the track and the football field, but how he handled himself in that very, very tough situation. That's what we want from our athletics. We do this because it life lessons for our student athletes is a great thing. And that was a tough one for him to handle, but he handled it so very well. So we wish Braden nothing but the best. And he actually qualified for our at the world level. He will be competing, representing the United States in Peru in the coming months in the decathlon. So congratulations to him. And Coach Richards should be here. Coach Phillip is here. We've got some other track coaches in the room as well, as I see some former track coaches in the room. So thank you all for coming out tonight to recognize Braden and the rest of our athletes. So again, that's wrapping up Braden. Second place in the pole vault, fifth place in the 110. The 4x100 relay, Xavier Jackson, Dane Pike, Tristan Sexton, and Sean Strahan finished 8th in the 4x1. Braden was also part of that squad. So we have 5 people that usually make up our relay team. So congratulations to them. They finished in 8th place. Lane Richards, Ross Martin, Mike Phillip, Bill Sarvis, Jason Thomas, and Krista Thomas are our track coaches. Congratulations to them. And I think Dr. Thompson has all of our certificates and so on, so we can call them up. Coach Phillip, come on up. You can hand out our certificates here. Xavier Jackson. Come on up.
Kristen Sexton. Dane Pike. And Sean Strahan.
Congratulations to Tristan and Sean. They are seniors So they had outstanding careers as well. We wish them nothing but the best. Tristan, Dane and Xavier are underclassmen, so we look forward to bigger and better things from them next year as well. So congratulations to our high school track athletes on their accomplishments at the state level. To talk about some exciting things that happened at the middle school level, I'm gonna introduce Mindy Allen, our middle school AD.
Thank you. We were excited. The middle school also had a fantastic season. As a team broke many records. You're gonna see a new record board in the middle school, some new pictures that we're gonna be putting up. We're gonna be doing a lot there to celebrate all the success. I mean, we're very fortunate that for middle school, that our track athletes have the opportunity to compete at the state level. It's our only sport in the middle school that we have the opportunity. So it's really great when we get to celebrate them and their successes. So tonight we're gonna celebrate Emily Meckenbauer and Traxton Richards. So Emily took first and set the state record in shot put at 53 feet 5 inches. And at the time of that throw, she had also set a national record. So Emily had a phenomenal season and really came on and finished the year really strong. Traxton did the same thing in pole vault, worked hard all season and came in at the state meet and set a state record, broke our school record as well with 13 feet 9 inches. So we're super excited to see what Traxton's gonna be doing as he steps up to the high school next year and competing against a lot of those big vaulters that we saw at the state this year. Emily also had competed in the discus and wanna make sure I get it right. She threw her discus throw, she placed 5th with like a 109-foot throw. And then she did break the school record this year in her discus. So we're super excited to see how her throwing continues next year. Because we really believe that she's going to be one of the best high school female throwers, not just in Lake County, but probably in the state, definitely in Northeast Ohio. But she set the school record that had previously been set in 1999. And that was with a discus throw of 120 feet and 3 inches. Traxton also competed at the state level in our 4x1 or 4x4 team. And then he also competed in the 200 hurdles. So these two athletes represented our school very well throughout the season. We had a lot of positive comments from other schools because I have other coaches and ADs that reach out to me. They're super impressed with our middle school program. So Coach Runau is here. We also had Coach Nicole Morgan from one of our middle school teachers that helps coach. And then Nick Kuhn, one of our middle school teachers, and then Josh Petroselli that was coaching. So we had a phenomenal season. So thank you. And we look forward to much more exciting news. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rockwell and Mrs. Allen, Coach Allen. Appreciate that. That concludes our spotlight on learning.
Thank you. Congratulations to all the athletes. Well done. If anyone was here just for that session, you are free to go. If you'd like to leave, you are more than welcome to stay also. Okay, anyone have any committee reports? Yeah. Okay, we'll wait for Andy. Okay, committee reports. Dr. Thompson, administrative update.
Thank you. Yeah, school, even before school let out, we have begun the work and the intense work of updating facilities and doing things around the district so we can be ready to go in August. The track is coming along well. The surface is on and also we had a little change order that you're gonna see tonight on an addendum agenda for our welding lab, but we're hoping we still can maintain that timeline to get that done. We've had some staffing hires this year as well, and we're happy to say that for the most part, our team is full and we're ready to go. Very excited about the draft class of 24-25. We've got, it's always tough to see veteran folks go on to their next adventure. They've offered and given us so much over the years for our students and our community, but as sad as we are to see them go, we're also very excited about the folks that are stepping in. We should hit the ground running. So we're very excited about that. And then we're going to shift a little bit from our normal update tonight. Based on some compliance and House bills, we're required to present our safety and wellness plan that's posted on our website to the board. And so Mr. Chisholm says he's going to use some brevity tonight. And I haven't seen that much of him, so we're going to see brevity as he presents. Yeah, so Mr. Chisholm, come on up and talk to us about our wellness program.
Yeah, so the 2019 part of Devine's initial funding formula and package for educational funding included the student success and wellness plan, which was really dedicated funding. It was some of the first time that the state issued funds that were dedicated to non-academic barriers to student success, things like mental health, physical aid services, family liaison services, chronic absenteeism, all the things that are non-academic based, even things like enrichment, before care, after care, non-academic that are dedicated for students. But it was one of the first times where they had dedicated those things and they were restricted dollars. They really have to be spent on those specific items. They took a back seat during COVID, and then when the funding formula went during the second term, he's now really focused in on. They updated some policy and made sure there was a lot of teeth behind how we spent those dollars, how we planned for those dollars, and how we presented those dollars. So one of the important updates is that now you have to collaborate with your community, with community folks, whether they're mental health agencies or educational service centers. You can come up with a plan with how you spend those dollars. And it's less than $200,000, somewhere between $150,000 and $200,000. So there's two different funds. There's a student success and wellness fund and the disadvantaged pupil impact. One is determined by our number of community members that are like socioeconomically disadvantaged, and the other is really just a per pupil funding formula. So we have to connect with local agencies and make determinations based on how we collect data and how we're going to spend those dollars. So it's really where that panorama, all the panorama kind of comes into place. So they ask us to take a look at your absenteeism, your behavioral reports, your grades, the student survey results. So things like climate surveys, the surveys that you guys take where you talk about sense of belonging, and just your general feelings in the school. So you take all that data, we kind of compile it and see what sticks out. Where do we really need to spend dollars? And then we partner with community partners. In our instance, it's the Educational Service Center and Family Liaison Program and Crossroads, and they add in additional information, which is things that we typically don't have access to, like domestic abuse within the city, juvenile violence, juvenile offender lists, all the things that kind of impact school as a whole, homelessness, and we mishi-mashi all that data, and whatever sticks out the most is where we dedicate our dollars. So you see kind of in the plan that I had shared with you, the biggest one is mental health services, which is great because the state requires 50% of that allocation to be spent on mental health services anyways. So we're dedicating a big bulk of those dollars towards the continuation of the partnership with Crossroads. You have on-campus counselors who meet one-to-one with students or with groups of students. Another part of that fund is going to be dedicated to that family liaison program that we had on the agenda in the last meeting to do work outside of the school, whether it's working with families in a community setting on chronic absenteeism, habitual truancy, juvenile offenders, students that are in jail, homelessness, all the family services and family engagement stuff that makes the big difference, makes a big impact. And then on nursing staff, nursing has been really important to us. We need to have a kind of a swing nurse who we keep on staff, sort of a one-to-one with a student. But we use them in a lot of roles, capacities to make sure that we're always covered, and we always have access to nursing on campus. So we're using part of those funds to dedicate towards the nursing services as well. And that's really what the state asks us to do. Use those services for physical and mental health services, and then wraparound services within the. So we take all that data that we seek out to crunch, that at-risk and predictor data, we crunch it, and we just see what really pops and what are really the barriers for students doing well in school, the non-academic barriers. And that's what we're gonna end up dedicating. So once the meeting concludes, we'll make sure that it's posted publicly, and anybody can kind of take a look at that process and how those interactions, roll in our process.
Pretty good.
120 seconds.
I don't.
I was counting back here.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chisholm. And again, Jim's been with us for a while in some various roles, and the Director of Student Services has evolved over the years. And the safety and well-being of our students remains top priority, and Mr. Chisholm's done an outstanding job in both providing those services for student well-being, looking at programs to come in to educate both staff and community on what our youth are going through in this day and age, and how we can better serve them and help them maintain a strong well-being and strong mental health. So appreciate the work. I know there's plenty to do, and I'm very proud of your efforts. So thank you. That concludes my administrative update.
Thank you. Do we have, Mrs. Deeb, any public participation? No, okay. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. The board is asked to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of May 21st, 2024, and the special meeting of May 6th, 2024. The board hereby waives the public reading of these minutes and shall post them accordingly. Item B, pursuant to the 2023-26 OPSI Local 367 negotiated agreement, the board is asked to approve a flat sum of $600 for the employee listed who has satisfactorily completed 20 or more contact hours of pre-approved professional development offerings as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent. Item C, pursuant to Article 7 of the OPSI MOA approved November 8th, 2023, the board is asked to approve a signing bonus of $1,000 for the employees listed who satisfactorily completed 50 contracted days of work in the 23-24 school year, as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. Item D, pursuant to Article 9 of the OPSI MOA approved November 8th, 2023, the board is asked to approve a payment of $1,000 for the bus operators listed who satisfactorily completed 120 days of work in the 23-24 school year, as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. Item E, approval of payment. Pursuant to Article 9 of the OPSI MOA approved November 8th, 2023, the board is asked to approve payment of $5,000 for the bus operators listed who satisfactorily completed recertification of their license as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. Item F, disposal of obsolete items. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to dispose of the listed obsolete and or outdated items that are no longer of use as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. Do I have a motion to approve?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. Lydic,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mrs. Kretzer,
Yes.
Mrs. Sealy.
Yes. Dr. Thompson?
Thank you, Mr. Truster. Under Personnel A, acceptance of resignation. The board is asked to accept the resignation from the individuals listed from the position noted as recommended by the local superintendent. B, personnel approval of the leave of absence in accordance with the terms and conditions of the collective bargaining agreement, Ohio Revised Code, and their applicable leave balance. The board is asked to approve a paid maternity caregiver leave for the individuals listed below for the balance of sick days accumulated, permissible and available as recommended by the local superintendent of principal. Under C, personnel approval of employment corrective action. Board is asked to approve the corrective action noted previously approved August 29, 2023, as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent. Under D, personnel approval of reemployment exempt contract. Board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue a contract for the 2024-25 school year to the exempt staff member listed as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. Under E, personnel approval appointment, 2023-24 non-athletic supplemental. The board is asked to approve the individuals listed for the 2023-24 non-athletic supplemental noted as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. Under F, personnel approval of appointment, ESY, the board is asked to approve the individuals listed for extended school year positions beginning June 1st, 2024, as recommended by the local superintendent and director of student services. Under G, personnel approval of appointment, summer curriculum. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed to complete the summer curriculum work at the rate of pay of $36 per hour and for the maximum number of hours indicated, as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent. One note of correction there, Michelle Dolokowski is now Kendall Kane. So please make that note. No,
Both of them.
on both of them?
There's Michelle.
Oh, and Kendall Kane.
Nope.
Okay,
Kendall Kane is gonna do reading and math, K-2. Michelle Dolotowski is gonna do ELA.
okay. Now I understand your thinking there. All right, thank you. Personnel approval appointment summer transportation. The board is asked to approve the employment of the following Perry bus operators for extra driving time to transport elementary and high school students to from the summer academic program and summer camp, and one summer program student going to CARES as recommended by the local superintendent and director of transportation. I, personnel approval appointment band camp. The board is asked to approve the individuals listed for the band camp positions indicated as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. J, personnel approval appointment band camp volunteers. The board is asked to approve the individuals listed as volunteers for band camp and away games for 24-25 as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. K, personnel approval appointments. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the position indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, certification training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent. L, personnel approval appointment classified. The board is asked to approve the stipend noted for the employee listed as recommended by the local superintendent and director of transportation. M, personnel approval of extended time 24-25. The board is asked to approve the extended time for the individual listed for the maximum number of days indicated at their daily rate of pay for 24-25 school year as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent. And personnel approval of appointment 24-25 non-athletic supplemental. The board is asked to approve the individual listed for the 24-25 non-athletic supplemental noted as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. O, personnel approval of appointment athletic supplementals. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individual listed for the 24-25 athletic supplemental position and rate of pay indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, certification, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. P, personnel approval of appointment lifeguards. The board is asked to approve the employment of the students listed for the 24-25 position and rate of pay indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, certification, training as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. Q, personnel approval of appointment athletic volunteer. The board is asked to approve the individual listed as a volunteer for the 24-25 sport noted pending successful completion of background check and certification as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. R, personnel reasonable assurance 24-25. Board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue notice to the Perry Board of Education hereby gives reasonable assurance that the following individuals approve that they are to be reemployed for the 24-25 school year as casual daily substitute employees, as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. S, approval of out-of-state trip wrestling camp, West Virginia. The board is asked to approve the Perry Wrestling grade 7-12 to attend the Mountaineer Team Camp at West Virginia University from Sunday, July 7th to Wednesday, July 10th in Morgantown, West Virginia, as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. T, approval of modified EEB. The board is asked to approve the updated exempt employee benefits as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. And this concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Do I have a motion?
Check.
Any discussion? I have a couple questions. On the sixth grade camp advisors, that was 23-24. So it's the people who already attended.
we're approving,
What letter are we?
it is E, item E.
Yes. Which,
Okay. Um. And then item R. Oh, sorry, I have a couple that I need to pull out too for abstaining. Item R is one of the ones that I need to abstain, as well as item O. The list, this is on R, no,
No, I just didn't know if you had more questions. Quick question. So I know we had some, positions advertised. In letter K, are those the fulfilling, the positions that we recently posted for?
Yeah.
And some shifting, are we at liberty to share anything, or is there anything to share as far as how things have shaken out, or is anything different?
Yeah, I don't, I mean, went through the process. It was, a thorough process and, all those positions were posted. And, and so there wasn't any real movement that, obviously the nurse, was a late in the game addition because the Lake County General Health District has chosen not to support, the nursing program for schools. So that we were given that notification. Nicole had been working for us for some time. And so we did post, and then, I got the recommendation from Mr. Chisholm, and, we put on the approval. That's it. I can see.
For the wrestling camp trip, and whenever we go out of state with students, we're always asking, just to be assured, how many coaches are going with them?
4 or 5.
Okay,
Just finalize that, but we'll be about a 5-to-1 ratio, 4-to-1 ratio.
okay. Is there anything else? Okay, so who made the motion? Would you like to amend your motion to remove items O and R?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second on the amended motion? We had our discussion, any more discussion? Okay, roll call please. Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mrs. Presco? Yes. Mrs. Sealy?
yes,
What are we voting?
Everything but item O and R.
Okay. Sorry,
And Mrs. Fuller.
yes.
Okay, do we have a motion for item O?
So
Is there a second?
Second,
Any discussion? Roll call please. Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
yes.
Mrs. Presco? Yes. Mrs. Sealy? Abstain. And Mrs. Fuller.
yes.
Is there a motion for item R?
So moved.
Any discussion? Roll call please. Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mrs. Presco?
yes,
Mrs. Sealy? Abstain. And Mrs. Tilly.
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Capo? Oh. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. I'm Dr. Thompson, your turn.
First thing, please, no problem. Yeah, under, there's a consent addendum piece. Would you like to do that?
Yes, sorry.
Okay,
Item A, approval of professional development stipend. Pursuant to the 2023-26 OC Local 367 negotiated agreement, the board is asked to approve a flat sum of $600 for the employee listed who has satisfactorily completed 20 or more contact hours of pre-approved for professional development offerings as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second? Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Yoli,
Yes.
Mrs. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. Leidig,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Mrs. Crafter.
Yes, Dr. Johnson.
Under personnel approval of appointments, the board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the position indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, certification training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent. And B, approval of 24-25 phase-in schedule. The board is asked to approve the 24-25 phase-in schedule below for grades preschool through 5 as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent and building principal. This concludes my superintendent's addendum report.
Is there a motion?
So.
Discussion? I have a question on the phase-in. So we're doing pre-K to 5 only, so 6 to 12 will go as normal on that first day. In the past, we've heard a few things about numbers being really off kilter for those days. That's the only thing that I've ever heard come up about the phase-in thing. Like sometimes the A through L is like maybe heavier on the number of kids, and then the next day there aren't as many. Is there any effort to like balance that out to make sure that the class sizes are about the same?
We could certainly take a look at that. I don't know where my administrators are, but I think we've been pretty flexible for kids that have, want to switch those for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
On the teacher side too, to make sure that they're getting, they don't have 15 kids one day and 3 the next. I know you guys are good at your job, but just making sure.
We'll take a look at those. We'll take a look at those numbers and make some adjustments.
So even though we approve this for those students A through L, F through Z, we understand that that can be manipulated some to make sure the class sizes are.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you for
We
bringing
get
that
a lot of calls. Like.
Right, right. So there's some flexibility there. Okay,
And we'll be conscious of the balance, maintaining some semblance of balance.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
That is the point. Right. So, yep, thank you for that.
okay. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. Leidig,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Mrs. Crafter.
Yes, Mrs. Yoli, yes. Okay, Mrs. Capo.
Thank you. A, approval of financial reports. The board is asked to approve the financial reports from May 2024 as recommended by the chief financial officer. B, acceptance of awards. The board is asked to accept the Healthy Kids Spring Step It Up Challenge Award in the amount of $1,250 and to approve the appropriations for such awards as recommended by the chief financial officer. The challenge was won by Kayla Rackerman and Jen Zek. The acceptance and appropriation of scholarship funds. The board is asked to accept the scholarship funds listed below and to approve appropriations for such scholarships to be placed in the funds noted as recommended by the chief financial officer. The acceptance and appropriations of grant funds. The board is asked to accept grant funds in the amount of $500 from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources Wildlife Education Grant and to approve appropriations for such grant to be placed in Fund 019 as recommended by the chief financial officer, and that grant was awarded to Cindy Banjoff. Approval of corrective action safety grant. The board is asked to approve the corrective action of the acceptance of the Ohio Attorney General's fiscal year 24 school safety grant previously approved on May 21st, 2024, as recommended by the chief financial officer. F, approval of the annual credit card reward report. The board is asked to approve the fiscal year 24 annual credit card reward report, as recommended by the chief financial officer. G, resolution to approve settlement agreement release. The board is asked to approve the resolution below as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. H, resolution to amend policy 0164. The board is asked to approve the resolution below as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. I, approval of contracts and agreements. The board is asked to approve the 2024-25 Educational Alternative Service Agreement as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer and Director of Student Services. J, approval of Facility Use Agreement, Great Day. The board is asked to approve the Facility Use Agreement with Great Day of Perry for designated space in the Tarbuck Center beginning July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2029, as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer. K, approval of expenditure bi-directional antenna system. The board is asked to approve the expenditure in the amount of $31,000 to TDA for bi-directional antenna system design services as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer and the Director of Maintenance and Operations. L, approval of expenditure iReady. The board is asked to approve the purchase of iReady software in the amount of $28,678.20 from Curriculum Associates from for the 2024-2025 school year as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer and Assistant Superintendent. M, approval of account transferred in advances. The board is asked to approve the following fund account transfers in advances as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer. And approval of appropriations. The board is asked to approve the revised fiscal year 2024 and the initial fiscal year 2025 appropriations listed as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer. O, approval of insurance. Highland. The board is asked to approve the policy resolution and renewal of the Highland Insurance Ohio School Plan coverage for liability, violence, auto, property, and pollution insurance at a rate of $189,865, and the CFC individual cyber policy at a rate of $3,991.50 for the period of July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer. The approval of the 2024-25 lunch prices. The board is asked to approve the 2024-25 lunch prices noted as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer and Director of Food Services. Q, approval of certified staff science of reading stipend. The board is asked to authorize the Chief Financial Officer to pay stipends of $1,200 or $400 to all certified staff that complete the state mandated science of reading professional development as recommended by the Assistant Superintendent and Chief Financial Officer. And this concludes my Chief Financial Officer's report.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have a question about Q. What determines, so it says stipends of 1,200 or 400?
There's two different paths and which path we have differently. So maybe Jody can probably speak to this.
Science of reading has some teachers, and depending what position they hold, like a high school social studies teacher wouldn't have to have as long of a training as a middle school English language arts teacher. So it's all about the hours.
Okay.
And so some are 8 hours and some are 30 hours. The 30 are getting the 1,200, the 8 are getting the less stipend.
Okay.
And those were all determined, of course, not by us, but Ohio Department.
The ODU set the
Yes.
amounts and then.
And there's reimbursed districts for the completion of those certificates.
Okay, perfect. And that's already begun, right? I had a teacher
Yes.
reach out today saying.
Yes.
Do we know if that's gonna be
Some
paid out
started in
soon?
May.
Yes,
They
okay,
have all the way until next summer, but many are getting it from this August.
okay, perfect, thank you.
And on, this is probably for Jim. Hi, Jim. How are you? Educational alternatives. Obviously, that's a student placement program.
Yeah.
Okay. And then where is that physically located? Okay, so it's still there.
Yes.
Okay.
One and a half.
Yeah.
Year.
Okay.
Big league.
Thank you.
And I need item L for professional. Conflict of interest to be removed and voted on separately.
Any other discussion? Who made that motion? Just to amend it to exclude item L.
I would like to amend my motion to approve all items besides L.
Second. Roll call for that.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mrs. Metzger,
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli,
Yes.
Mrs. Foley,
Yes,
Mr. Leiden.
Yes.
Do you have a motion for item L?
so moved.
Second.
Roll call, or any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mrs. Metzger,
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli, Mrs. Foley,
Yes,
Mr. Leiden.
Yes.
Mrs. Cable, you have an addendum?
Thank you. A, approval of expenditures, CRS Metalworks. The board is asked to approve the expenditure in the amount of $35,000 added to contingency allowance to CRS Metalworks Incorporated to facilitate several adjustments to the exhaust and electrical systems for the high school welding hub renovation project as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer and the Director of Maintenance and Operations. This concludes my Chief Financial Officer. Addendum report.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? So this is something we have to do in order to complete the welding hub. To safety.
I believe so.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of people working on this. It's a collaboration between Lake Erie College, who's gonna provide our instructor and other things, and then Lincoln Electric has donated a significant amount of equipment. And so somewhere along the line, pieces of the equipment that Lincoln Electric has supplying us, something about an automatic exhaust piece, when kids spark and the welding in the hub, there's an automatic vent system that goes on. And to get that to work with the pieces that Lincoln Electric gave us, we're gonna have to expand our ductwork from 500 something, I don't ask me what code, to 640. And so that's kind of a change that we're gonna have to make. And Mr. Smith is working now to see how that may affect our timeline, but we're hoping we can make those adjustments and get it done right now. There's the potential we could shortcut that, but then it would mean that the instructor would have to manually flip those on. And exactly,
Yeah.
and so.
Which
that's
allows for
the
switching.
safety.
Yeah, with our kids.
Let's bite the bullet here and get this done, the right way. And that's, that always is the issue. It's great to get donations and equipment to come in, but then, and it's multiple pieces and collaboration of the job. The architects need to speak, more closely with electric, it's one of those. We didn't get back to us and all those things, but we're gonna make it, we're gonna get through it. That's what that's all about.
Mr. Thompson, do you mind if I add something more? I hope you don't, I'm not interrupting you, but our instructor for the welding rod is in the audience tonight. Bill, do you mind standing up? Bill Miller is in the audience. Bill comes to us from Lincoln Electric and, still or will be full-time with us at least, full-time. He'll be teaching, we thought one section next year, but our enrollment increased doubled in size. We'll teach 2 sections of the welding lab next year, offering welding 1, 2, and potentially welding 3.
So any other questions directed to Noah? We have to answer them.
Big, big.
We're gonna get there.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Lydic.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts. Mrs. Metzger.
Yes.
Mrs. Pioli.
Yes.
Mrs. Cole.
Yes.
Any unfinished business? New business? Correspondence and announcements? The district, there's no correspondence or announcements, so upcoming events and meetings, the district will be closed on July 4th for Independence Day. The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, July 30th, 2024 at 5:45 p.m. in the Starbucks Center Conference Room. Do we have any other public participation? So. And then we do an executive session, to figure out which one it is. Which one am I doing?
You're gonna do 2. You're gonna do 1 for, has to be kept, confidential.
Okay.
For safety and security. And then you're going to be talking about the contracts of public official.
Okay, I move that the board adjourn to executive session to discuss the details of security arrangements, protocols for the district, as disclosure of the matters discussed could reasonably be expected to jeopardize the security of the district. And sorry. Can't find it.
My new glasses.
G1. I feel this pressure. I move that the board adjourn to executive session, the purpose of considering. Which
You
one?
can say all of them. if you want.
Okay,
Did you find it?
yeah, the employment, dismissal, discipline, demotion of a public employer, or public official of the school district. Is that right? Okay, is there a second? Sure. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Metzger.
Yes.
Mrs. Pioli.
Yes.
Mrs. Foley.
Yes.
Mr. Lydic.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Okay,